morning, everyone. We have made it to the clinical site. I brought my camera today because last week bringing my phone was a little rough. The lighting was not the best. From what I'm seeing when I passed through the parking lot, I believe I'm the only person here right now. I don't see anybody else's car that I can recognize. We do have a new instructor for today. So we're not going to have consistent instructors for clinicals. It's going to be rotating. And then at some point, my instructor from our Zoom lectures in the lab will be our instructor for clinical, but not for the whole time during clinical. But again, I just fingers crossed. I'm hoping that the instructors that I come across, the patients that I come across, the staff that I come across don't give me a hard time. And I hope that my clinicals will go well. I am definitely nervous, but I'm trying to relax. From where we left off with the other instructor, we were supposed to practice our vitals on each other and then practice on patients. I don't know if that's going to continue on today. If it is, I don't know what we're doing today. I assume that we are going to answer call-outs. Also, just practice some skills. I have all my stuff with me this time. I am prepared. I have my little notebook so that I can take notes when the call-outs go off, because last clinical, y'all, I was like, okay, this patient in this room, that room, bed 1, bed 2. I was just like all over the place. So I have my notebook. I have my pen, of course. I have a Sharpie just in case I need it, because last time I did need one and I needed to ask the nurse, but the nurse was like, please give it back to me. And I'm like, okay, don't worry, you're gonna get it back. My secondhand watch. I have my student badge, and then also my patch for my shirt. I have my lunch. For lunch today, I have what I attempted to make was a spicy fettuccine alfredo. Before I go in there, before I walk in that building, let me check this messaging app. I checked it this morning when I woke up, just in case, you know, something happened and we weren't supposed to come to clinical today. But no messages, nothing. I now have 10 minutes before clinical starts, so I'm going to sit in the car until I'm gonna give it like 5 more minutes, and then I'll walk up to the front. But I'm just gonna sit here, try to relax my nerves. I am on my first break of the day. So far, things are going well. I started off my morning assisting a patient with feeding, which actually went wonderful. Patient was very nice, very appreciative, and didn't, at first I felt nervous because obviously I'm doing something new. And I was just thinking to myself, I'm just like, imagine how many patients this person has to assist with feeding at once, and it's just one CNA for like 6 to 8 patients. Like, that would take so long. But I am assuming, but I could be wrong. I think that in the morning, at least, I don't know about lunch, but in the morning, they pretty much try to help everybody. Like, everybody's all hands on deck helping everybody. And then afterwards, the nurses will do their rounds with any patients that need medications or like a wound dressing, whatever. But yeah, I had a really nice patient. The patient actually was willing to teach me some stuff because the patient had dentures, and the patient was like, oh, have you ever worked with dentures? I was like, no. And the patient was like, okay, here's what you want to do. And then I followed their instructions, and yeah, I'm so grateful that I had a patient that was just really nice and didn't give me a hard time. I did ask our CNA, I was like, hey, did you need any assistance right now, like with anything? And the CNA was like, as of right now, no. Like, if the call-outs go off, yeah, I answer the call-outs, but as of right now, no. So I found another CNA that was literally like about 6 feet in front of me. I was like, hey, my CNA doesn't need anything right now. Can I shadow you for a bit? And that CNA was like, yeah, sure. And this CNA is like really teaching us some stuff, which is great, wonderful, and even giving us tips of like how their state test went when they had to proctor, which was great. So overall, I'm having a good morning so far, which is great. I need to have a good morning because, again, I need things to go well. I got 5 more minutes. Let me do one more quick update because, y'all, before I say what I have to say, I know that there are patients that are in this facility that are confused. I know that. I get that. I understand that. But I also know that there are patients that are not confused and they are in their right mind and they know exactly what they're doing and or saying. Now, with that said, we were in one room and the CNA was showing us how to change a patient. And in the bed next to us, there was a patient who was sexually harassing all of the females in that room. And it wasn't no touching, but just verbally saying things. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. I was uncomfortable, but not uncomfortable enough to where I felt like I needed to leave the room. But that CNA already told us, like, hey, if you feel really uncomfortable, do not be afraid to tell me. Let me know that you need to step out. And I'm like, I'm okay for now. Like, uncomfortable, but it's not stopping me from learning. Now, if it was touching, unwanted touching, oh yeah, I would have been like, no, I gotta go. Other than that, that's all my updates. I gotta go. Day 2 of clinicals is done and over with. I am so ready to go home. I don't know, maybe I'm exhausted because we did way more than what we did last clinical, but we did a lot of, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot of diaper changes, which took longer because we had to make sure we really clean the patient, obviously. So yeah, and my back is kind of killing me because when the CNA that we were shadowing lifted up the bed, the CNA lifted up the bed to their working height, but not my working height, and I am taller than that CNA, so my back was hurting. My clinical actually was not that bad, but I will say that if you guys remember, me talking about that person in my group that I feel like was micromanaging me. Well, today, they didn't micromanage me, but with the diaper changes, obviously because of the job that they currently have now, they have a lot of experience with the bed changes. And so I felt like they didn't even give me or the other people in our group that was shadowing the CNA the opportunity to kind of just do it themselves, you know, like actually do it themselves on a patient and like learn from their mistakes or just get the hang of it. It was just like, oh, here's this, here's that. And I wanted to be like, girl, if you don't back up, give me some space. Like, let me do this on my own. I want to do it on my own. But again, I'm one of those people where I'm just like, I don't want to say exactly how I'm feeling because I don't want to start any issues. So it's like I have to really think about what I'm going to say before I do it. So if the same thing happens tomorrow, I'm just going to tell this person like, hey, I understand that you're trying to help me, but I want to learn how to do it on my own. So like, let me do the motion on my own. If I miss something, let me know. But I want to do the motion on my own. I want to learn how to do it. Because when I become a CNA, I'm going to have to do a lot of that stuff on my own. Like watching the CNA today, like the CNA was bow, 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 bow. Got it, turn over, boom, wipe. Like on a roll, obviously, because they have experience doing this. But the CNA was like, just imagine me doing it by myself and I have like 8 to 9 patients. And I'm like, I can't imagine. There was a little bit of drama. Today that I kind of want to share, but I'm going to be vague about it because, again, I don't want to get in trouble. But basically, one of the patients that the CNA we were shadowing had, their family came. One of the family members raised some concerns, and I was the one who went in the room, and I was like, okay, I'll let your CNA know. And then the family member was like, well, I was told the CNA is on lunch and they were going to have somebody else do it. I was like, okay, let me go inquire about that. So I told a nurse about it, and the nurse was like, okay, I'll check on that. I don't know if the nurse checked on it or not, but that family member was getting even more upset, which I could kind of understand the situation. But what a lot of people don't know, what a lot of patients don't understand, is like, you don't know the behind the scenes. And that's how it is when I worked in retail. Like, customers would get upset because we only had, like a few cashiers open and there's a long line. Well, I'm sorry. There's people who need lunch breaks. There's people who need just their 15-minute break. There's people who called off. Like, we don't have the amount of people that you are wanting to be able to assist you. And it's like a one-man show, two-man show, three-man show, whatever show. And we're doing the best that we can. We're fighting for our lives. So it was one of those situations. If you've worked in retail and you've had that similar experience where it's like y'all are low staffed all the time and then people complain about it. It was one of those situations, but in healthcare. It was like, yes, we know the patient need assistance, but it's not like a dire need for assistance. The patient is going to get assistance, just not at this exact moment. There was just too many things going on right now, and what the patient's family was requesting, it couldn't be done because that's just a rule that the facility had made.